What's up YouTube, it's Shivansh here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about the 5 biggest challenges that you will face as an international student or as a newcomer to Canada. If you have recently moved to Canada or will be moving to Canada in the near future, then this video will be extremely useful for you in navigating through those tough initial days in Canada. We'll talk about what these challenges are and how you can actually overcome them effectively so that you are fully prepared for them once you arrive in Canada. But before we get into that, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I make a lot of useful videos about studying and working in Canada, and if you check out the videos on my channel, I'm sure that you will not be disappointed. With that being said, let's start this video. One of the very first challenges that you will face after moving to Canada is to figure out your place of accommodation. Now, most of you must have already heard by now that it has become extremely difficult to find affordable accommodation in Canada, and a lot of students are actually struggling. And on top of this, a lot of scams are also happening, and that's why it is very important to find a safe and comfortable place to call home, especially when you're moving to a brand new country where you don't know anyone. I understand that finding a rental accommodation can be a very daunting task, but once you get past this step, once you get past this challenge, I think the rest of your journey in Canada will become a lot smoother. The best strategy to look for rental accommodations in Canada is to start your research early, and you should start looking for accommodation options about 2 months before you plan to travel to Canada. This will give you enough choices to look around and a lot of time to actually make an informed decision. And there are several different ways to search for a rental accommodation in Canada, but you can start your search by contacting your college or your university, because usually these education institutes have resources and recommendations for housing options. Your institute might have some on-campus accommodation, or they might have a partnership with a nearby rental agency. But personally, I think the most effective way to find rental accommodation in Canada is to use online resources and websites such as Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace. Now, I understand that on these platforms, you'll have to send messages to hundreds of people, and most of these people might not also reply to you, but you just have to keep going and keep messaging people, because this is going to be your best bet. You can also join Facebook groups such as your city's housing group or your college's Facebook page, because these can also be very effective in finding an accommodation. But the most important thing, in my opinion, is that before you finalize your place of accommodation, you should make sure that you've properly factored in the rent, utilities, or transportation costs, and if possible, you should visit that place in person before giving any money to anyone. This will help you assess the condition, quality, and safety of the apartment or the house that you're going to rent. And if you're not in Canada at that time, then you can also reach out to a friend of yours who can go in and visit on your behalf and record and send you a video of the place before you make that decision. Now, the second biggest challenge that you will face after moving to Canada is to figure out your transportation options. As a newcomer to Canada, it will probably not make sense for you to buy a car initially, at least, because if you don't already know this, owning a car in Canada comes with a lot of additional expenses, and you can expect to pay anything between $500 to $1,100 every single month between your mortgage costs, your insurance payments, your fuel costs or maintenance charges, etc. So that's why once you move to Canada, it is much better to use public transportation as much as possible. And as a newcomer to Canada, I know that understanding and navigating Canada's public transportation system can be overwhelming at first. And that's why Go Transit is a fantastic solution, especially for newcomers to Ontario. Go Transit is a network of trains and buses that provides easy and convenient travel options to various parts of the GTA. Whether you're commuting to your college or your university, visiting different regions looking for part-time jobs, or searching for accommodations, or just exploring the different parts of the GTA, Go Transit has got you covered. With Go Transit, you'll be able to enjoy a comfortable, stress-free journey with spacious seating along with free Wi-Fi and entertainment on board, so that you can be productive even while you're commuting. And you don't even have to worry about wasting time, being stuck in traffic, or getting late to an interview, because you can depend on their reliable and extensive network. You can also join on-the-go alerts via text or email for real-time information and updates about the Go Transit. And the best part is that you don't even have to spend thousands of dollars every single month on your commute. Since Go Transit is your budget-friendly option, you'll end up saving a lot of money if you just take a Go train or a Go bus to your destination. With Go Transit, not having a personal vehicle as an international student will not hold you back in Canada. And once you start using Go Transit, you'll gain more confidence in navigating the GTA, and it'll make your life as an international student or newcomer to Canada much smoother. Now let's move on to challenge number 3. If you talk to people who have moved to Canada in the recent times, most of those people will say that their biggest challenge in Canada has been finding a part-time job as an international student or as a newcomer to Canada. And I definitely agree that it has become a lot more difficult finding a part-time job in Canada with increased competition and increased cost of living all across Canada. But it is what it is, and you have to face this challenge head on. You'll have to learn the effective job search strategies, how to create a proper resume and tailor it towards Canadian employers, and how you can actually network with people and ask them for referrals. And I've made so many videos on this YouTube channel that will help you with exactly this. And if you follow my advice from these videos, apply those strategies and work on improving yourself and your skill set rather than complaining about how difficult job search in Canada is, then you'll be able to find a job in Canada sooner than later. So make sure to check out all these different job search related videos on this YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description box below as well. Now, the next challenge that a huge number of newcomers to Canada face is that they lack the knowledge of basic personal finance. And this is not something that's their fault particularly, because our education system in India and in a lot of other countries is such that they don't put too much emphasis on teaching at least the basics of personal finance to everyone. And most students who move to Canada at a very young age, let's say after grade 12, are prone to make huge financial mistakes in Canada because they have no idea about how to manage their money effectively. They have no idea about what is a debit card or a credit card, what are assets versus liabilities, and what is a good loan versus a bad loan. And because of this lack of knowledge, a lot of people eventually make poor financial decisions, such as buying an expensive phone or an expensive car even when they cannot afford to pay for it, and then they take on a lot of debt which they cannot service, and this eventually leads to a lot of financial stress in Canada and ruins their credit history forever. So if you're planning to move to Canada, then please make sure to learn at least the basics of personal finance so that you can learn how to manage your money effectively and responsibly. Some of my suggestions would be to try monitoring your spending habits by creating a budget and sticking to it and tracking every single one of your expenses to understand where your money is actually going. If you start doing this exercise, it will help you make better financial decisions for sure. And if you choose to get a credit card in Canada, then use it responsibly in order to build a credit history in Canada. Do not accumulate unnecessary debt and pay off your credit card balance in full at the end of every single month, because if you don't do this and start taking on credit card debt, then you'll be trapped in a vicious cycle and it'll be very hard to get out of it. The last thing that I want to talk about here is homesickness and the challenge of being away from your friends and family and starting a new life in a completely new country. Now, this is something that pretty much every single immigrant faces, regardless of how many years they've spent in Canada, and can lead to feelings of isolation and sadness. But I just want to say that you are not alone. If you're missing your family and friends, if you're feeling homesick, then this is completely normal, especially since you're moving to a completely new country, and this is a huge change in your life. And in my opinion, the best way to deal with this is to focus on why you moved to Canada in the first place, what are your life goals, and how moving to Canada will help you achieve those goals. If you focus on why moving to Canada is important for you, then you'll be able to rationalize these feelings, and it will give you the strength to survive and thrive through all these challenges. At the same time, it is equally important to communicate and stay in touch with your family and friends back home while you're trying to build your new life in Canada, so that you don't feel that you are alone in this journey. And you can always reach out to me on Instagram at Singla119 if you have anything to talk about, and I'll be happy to chat with you. And that's basically it. If you found this video to be useful, then make sure to hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel to watch more such insightful videos about Canada. I post a lot of useful content on this YouTube channel and also on my Instagram page. So make sure to also follow me on Instagram at Singla119. Thank you for watching and best of luck with your move to Canada. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.